Hey guys, it's Sarah with tip number 3. This one is about self-love and letting yourself heal over time. I know that becoming an adult can be almost traumatizing at times just because it's such a transition from being a dependent to more of an independent and dealing with all of life's stresses and pressures and just tasks in general from day to day. That when you start getting more and more on your own, even the small things like doing your laundry, cooking your food every day to eat, and just getting out and about, and like finding a way to keep in touch with your friends and get to your job or do your schoolwork or whatever you're doing. It can just add up. It can feel like a lot. Like you can just feel like, oh my gosh, like I wasn't prepared for this, and how do I do it all, and when do I have the time, and when do I have the energy, and like how do I reconcile this going from having a ton of free time and having fun all the time to like having to be an adult. It's super stressful. I know for me personally, I felt like I almost went through a little bit of a slump after college just because it's just a bit traumatic. Like it can just be such a huge, overwhelming experience. It's just something that nobody can really fully prepare you for because you're the only one that's really going through it personally. So the main important thing is to love yourself and to be okay with where you are at and to forgive yourself for not being able to do it all and not even to think that you need forgiveness for that, but to just accept yourself, accept where you're at in life, and accept what you can do in a day. Even if it's a day that you go through and you don't feel like you did anything, be okay with that because the fact is, you made it through the day and tomorrow's a new day, and just to have faith in that every day is a new day, every day is a fresh start, and you are okay and you're going to be okay and you're exactly where you need to be at any given time. It really is this self-care and not talking yourself down, not holding yourself to unrealistic expectations or more pressure than you can handle. And even if you don't feel like you're living up to your own expectations, like I was so involved in everything, like in high school, and then for some reason after college, it was just like, whoa, I have a full-time job, and I'm not doing anything else. Like I'll go home and just I'll stay in bed, or like I'll just not do much, and it's just like letting myself be where I was at, and it's just knowing that it's the process, it's growing, it's time. Time heals everything, and you just have to have faith in the process. Be okay with where you're at, and love yourself, accept yourself, and take the small baby steps that you can do today, and start to find and dig for things that inspire you and that give you joy. Start to use this downtime or just this whatever time to figure out who you are and what you really love. Like, look for those things that give you that spark. You're still young. You still have your whole life ahead of you. Life doesn't mean that you have to be at a certain point by a certain time in life or by a certain age. I've always been really good about not having to rush myself. Like, I didn't graduate college in 4 years. I took extra time. I studied abroad. I transferred colleges to do what I really wanted to do. And I took time after, I think, to do a job that wasn't maybe like a dream job or something that I thought I would be doing after college. Like it wasn't like necessarily like I just made it, it's just first job. So just being okay with where I was at and knowing that like any job that you're doing, there's merit in a job that you can do well and that you're appreciated for doing. It's like, it's just having faith in that whole growing process and that it is your first steps. Letting yourself go through them, take the time, don't quit. Just take it one day at a time. And again, start to look for those little things that give you a spark, that give you joy. And even if you're working one job but finding joy in these hobbies, like nurture those in your off time. Whether it's like doing a little blog or whether it's like hanging out with certain friends or whether it's going to a certain group or doing a certain activity, like try to stick to that. Try to find and dig into what makes you unique, what's your passion, because over time that can grow and develop into something stronger that becomes more of part of who you are, and like maybe something even start working in field in. So just wherever you're at, and even if you know exactly what you're doing and you're totally have a perfect job and like everything is perfect. Like it's still that time after college where you still want to not compare yourself to others, not be obsessed with where everyone's at, but just be really true to yourself. Be okay with where you're at. Know that it's the process. Be totally fine with that. Don't be envious of other people. Like, you never know what somebody else is going through. Like, even I was going through hard stuff. People probably were jealous of my life at certain times because I took a certain trip or something. But you really never know what people are going through. And it's just so important that you give yourself that time and that space to just be okay, to grow, and to have faith and hope that life is a journey. You're going to be okay. Dig for those things that give you a spark. Keep learning more about who you are, because the more honest you can be with yourself, the happier you're going to be. That really is a lot of the key. It's not just living life for other people, but it's like, what do you really love to do, and doing that and fostering those things. So just keep digging into that. Even if it's just in your spare time and even if it's not part of your job, don't quit, and have patience. And at some point, you might be surprised. All your hard work and time and just letting yourself grow and learn will totally pay off. And I'll put another video on that topic in a couple episodes, but this one is just about the importance of having self-love, sense of self-preservation, like just be okay. Like, don't let yourself be bogged down by crazy things going on around you. Don't roll over and die for somebody else who may be toxic in your life. You just have to have that sense of self-love for yourself and be totally okay with where you're at, even if it's not quite meeting where you thought you're going to be. It's okay.